The long wait for Euro 2020 is finally over. In the build up to the big kickoff, we are doing something special. We have scoured the Twitterverse to find a representative from each of the 24 nations competing in this summer's European Championships. We will be recording a preview with each representative who will be sharing views on their nation's hopes and expectations throughout the tournament, and most importantly, the fantasy assets we should be looking out for. Welcome to Euro 2020 Happy Hour. Hello and welcome to our Euro 2020 preview series with myself, Sham, otherwise known as FPL 2 Guys 1 Cup on Twitter.
And myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda.
Rob, we have another guest tonight who is representing a country that came third in Euro 2008, and that is Russia and Zahar. Zahar, welcome, my friend.
Welcome. Hi everyone.
How are you?
I'm fine. I can't complain. And how are you guys?
All good.
Yeah, all good here. All good. All good.
Right. Zahar, tell us about yourself. What do you do? How old are you? What football team do you support? Do you play FPL?
So to start with, my name is Zahar. I live far from Moscow, as you guessed, because our country is so huge. And I am 17 years old, and I have been playing FPL for 2 seasons. And last season, my rank was at 135,000, and now my rank is like 10k. I enjoyed playing FPL this time, and I think I have a pretty good season. So maybe it's a kind of luck mixed with skill, but I can get some experience from these seasons.
Well, look, 10k rank is nothing to be sniffed at, mate. It's a great rank.
Yeah.
Done really, really well. I think we're in good company here today.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, for everyone at the time of recording, we're just the day before game week 37. So, yeah, we've got a couple of weeks to catch up with you, but I don't think it's going to happen.
No. Zahar, what football team do you support?
So to speak about my favorite team, it is Real Madrid. I supported them for like 10 years maybe, and as my native team, I support Zenit. Do you know this team?
Yeah, I know Zenit. Yeah,
I have been supporting them for like 10 years also. So I have two favorite teams right now, and I'm enjoying seeing how they play.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about Russia, which is why you're here. So how did your team do in qualification?
So to speak about qualification, I think we did quite good in the qualification. We have 24 points. We lost only twice for Belgium 3-1 and Belgium 2-1-4. It is our main opponent in our group, and we scored a lot of goals. It's a kind of surprising moment in our history of qualification, like 9 goals against San Marino. Yes, it's a kind of achievement for us. And 4 goals against Scotland. It's kind of participant of the tournament. And our main striker, Artem Ziyech, scored like 9 goals. It's quite impressive result in my opinion. And so I guess we reached our goal in this qualification.
Nice. Okay, definitely. And so who are your main players through qualification, would you say?
So to speak about our main players in the qualification, I would say that it was firstly Artem Ziyech. As I said, he scored the most goals for our team, and it was like Golovin Alexander. He played 8 matches of 10, I guess, and he's playing for Monaco right now. Do you know this player?
Yeah, he's like arguably, like a lot of people, there's him and is it Cheryshev? Like people say that like him and Cheryshev are like your two sort of standout players, like because the level that they play, like Champions League and stuff. But yeah, Golovin, I think probably the best player. Might not be the most important,
Yes.
but yeah, maybe the best.
Yes, Denis Cheryshev did quite a good as in the 2018 in the World Cup and in the qualification. He scored 5 goals and 3 assists. And but now he had a bad season, I guess. He missed many matches because of his injury, and generally speaking, he is injury prone player, so I guess he's maybe not so good FPS set as you can imagine.
Okay, so you guys had a good qualification overall. Is it were there any players that played during the qualifications that aren't available now for the Euros, or are there any players that didn't have so much of a good qualification but you think will do well in the Euros?
So to start with, we changed our main keeper. In the qualification, it was Marinetto Guilherme. He played 9 matches in the qualification, but he had a bad season. He had 5 goals in match against Serbia. We lost it like 0-5, and our coach like a little bit blamed him for his mistakes, and from that time our main keeper is Anton Shunin. And also there is some changes in the midfield zone. Like we have 2 brothers, as you know, Miranchuk, Alexei and Anton. One is playing in Atlanta right now, and one is playing is Lokomotiv. He is they are like eternal brothers, as you know. So Miranchuk Anton is like who playing is who is playing in Lokomotiv right now. He missed the squad list, and he will not travel to Euro 2020, I guess. But all in all, the squad list is good and as was in qualification.
Okay, so do you think without those players that will be a big miss for you guys in the Euros?
So yes, I read a lot of forums about our squad, and many our supporters talked about missing of Fedor Smolov. He made a great contribution for Lokomotiv right now. She scored like 5 goals in the spring, and he gives us a lot of opportunities in the attacks of our country. He is fast. He can dribble, but our main coach Stanislav Cherchesev did not include him into our final list. So it was, yeah, there were many arguments about it, why he did not include him. So we have 3 tall marksmen like Artem Ziyech, Sobolev, and Zabolotny.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, Firstly, I'm really impressed with your knowledge on Russian football. It sounds like you know a lot about your national team, which is absolutely perfect for this podcast. So, how do you think Russia will do? Do you think, how far do you think you'll go?
So, about our expectations, I would say that we will definitely fight for the second place. So, to be honest, we hadn't any chance against Belgium. They are too powerful. I guess they are one of the main favorites to win the tournament. And but we can fight with Denmark. So, in my opinion, they are more powerful team than us. But mm, miracles are becoming, and I think we can fight with them. Good. It will be all decided in the final match in the Copenhagen. It will be the third game week, and I guess we can uh, promote for the playoffs.
Okay, perfect. Right. So, your talisman that you chose when we asked you who's kind of the main player for Russia, you put Artem Zuba. Now, I know there has been some indiscretion, shall we say, with Zuba over the last few months, where there was a video that leaked and he lost his captaincy. I guess how without going into too much detail about what this video contained, Zahar, what was it like within the Russian community when this happened, and do you think that will affect his place in the national side now?
So to start with, it was a big accident for our whole football community, and this was a kind of international news, and this is a bit of shame for our football. He lost his captaincy, but he scored many goals after it. He won the Russian tournament with Zenit, and I think he deserves a place in this team, and I think he's the main talisman for our country, and the most attacking returns will be from him, I expect, yes.
Okay, perfect. Rob, have you got any questions specifically on Zuba for Zahar?
I mean, was there like, I mean, we have pretty much covered it, but was there like any concern about the whole situation, like with the tournament so close, and this occurred in, I think it was November or December time, when he was expelled from the squad, had the captaincy taken from him. I mean, with the tournament so close, was it a worry at the time? Because he is, like as you say, one of your more important players.
Yes, I could say that there were a lot of concerns. He missed a couple of matches. I remembered it, and then he was again invited to the team, and this scandal was clearly vanished, maybe. So I guess that Artem Ziyech has a lot of pressure, and he is the main key player of our team, and all will depend on him in this tournament.
Maybe
Okay,
it could be
right.
like his sort of a like a rags to riches moment where he could become the hero. Like as England fans, we all remember David Beckham in the World Cup in 1998. He was made like the villain and everything, and then like 4 years later, he was the hero at the World Cup, and he was the England captain and everything. And maybe, yeah, something like that sort of story, that kind of
Zahar won't remember that, Rob. He wasn't
villain to
alive
hero.
then.
Well, no, we remember it though. I mean,
We
Yes.
remember it.
for us, I mean, the only other is England have scandals all the time though.
Yeah.
And like I think in the last 12 months we've had two of our players get into trouble and expelled from the squad, and hopefully they can become heroes at this tournament for our side. But yeah, I think yeah, as you said, he is a really important player in your team, and yeah, if you didn't take him, like never mind the captaincy, if you didn't have him in the squad, I think you'd be maybe struggling a little bit to score goals, because he does provide a lot of goals for you.
Right, Zahar, let's look at it now from a fantasy perspective, which is what the main gist of this pod is. So I guess the first question is, if we could pick maybe 3 or 4 players that you think would be good, or how many are there that you think would be worth looking at? Is there any players that I guess are out of position, or represent good value, or anyone that you think that player stands out for me?
So there are some players that we should watch at first. So I guess out of position, it's like Yuri Zhirkov is in a bad way. He considered as a midfielder, but in the reality, he is like a left defender. So
Right.
you should avoid him.
Okay.
So to speak about good out of position, I guess it's mainly Mario Fernandez. She's like lateral, right wing back is in our team. So if you imagine the formation like 5-4-1, he is in the wing of attack. So he made a lot of attacking returns. His price is appealing, but I should say that you don't have to expect many clean sheets from our team, because we struggle to defense, and we conceded like 5 goals from Serbia and 3 goals from Turkey. I think it is not what you should expect from your defenders, but if you are looking for attacking returns, you should pick Mario Fernandez, I guess. 5.5 million. It's punty, but I guess it's a kind of go for the risk.
Okay.
So, any other players I should tell you about, or do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. So I guess are there any players that you look here that you personally are looking at picking?
So to speak about me, I should say that I've picked Artem Ziyech, because I'm supporting Zenit, and he is the main striker in our club, and I think that his style of playing is like a bit of fun. He's like Peter Crouch in our team. He's tall, 2 meters, and he's like his original celebration is like soldier, and he's shouting. And I think this will be fun to watch how he does this. And if he will deliver me some attacking returns, I will be glad.
And you'll do the celebration once he scores, right?
Yes, it's a kind of meme in our country. Like,
nice.
I don't know why he should do this. Maybe he is military, but it's a strange thing.
Do you think he offers good value for money? Like, should I pick him, or is it more a case of you're Russian and because all the podcasts we've done so far, everyone understandably is kind of biased towards their country. You know, most of them are going to be picking 2-3 players from their particular country because they want to support their team. Is that what it is? Do you think I should look at Zuba, or anyone else should look at Zuba, or do you not think he represents value for money?
So to speak about his price, I should say that 8.5 million is too much for him, maybe. But to speak generally, I should say that maybe 70% of returns will come from him. So if you are really, if you want to support Russia, you can pick him. But if you if you want to find any undervalued players, you could pick Semyonov. He is like a 4.5 defender. It's like it could be like a bench fodder. He is only one right-footed player in our team, and I think he is definitely starting defender. So, and you can also pick like Alexander Golovin. He is main engine of our team, main artist, and he is also on standards, and he made a good season. He progressing very well, and I guess he is like our future hope for this tournament. Like Dzyuba is 30 years old. He can't provide any potential, while Alexander Golovin and some any others young players, they give us a kind of hope for this tournament.
Okay. Robbie, have you got any questions for Zahar on a fantasy perspective?
No, I think we have covered quite a lot. I mean, yeah, I saw Mario Fernandez as one of the standout options as a defender. And if you're playing five at the back, because he is very attacking, so it could be someone that, I mean, what does put me off is that 5.5 price tag, because, and as you said, yeah, the defending isn't great. And I mean, the first fixture against Belgium isn't appealing either. But possibly having someone that you can bring in after that first game week, so you got someone for the Finland game, that could be quite appealing. But yeah, I mean, there's not a good, like, huge number of assets that I kind of want to attack with. Apart from, yeah, like I said, Fernandez, Dzyuba's someone maybe again for that Finland match, and then Golovin and Cheryshev I like as well. But yeah, do I want to triple up on Russian assets for the tournament when they have got the tricky game against Belgium, and then they've got that? I mean, you could take a gamble on them knowing that the last game against Denmark, both teams are going to have full strength sides out, whilst like Belgium wouldn't have a full strength side probably in the third game because they'll probably already be qualified. So yeah, maybe it's one of those games that for the third game week to try and attack by watching the first two and then attacking that third game. Yeah, just something that I'm thinking of from a strategy point of view.
Zahar, is it, apart from Dzyuba, are you going to be picking anyone else from Russia yourself?
So I will decide who to pick, but mainly I would say that Dzyuba and maybe Fernandez is one of my picks. So I should say that they are the only ones that should I pick. So if you guys wanted to pick one of our players, you shouldn't expect a beautiful game from them, because our style is like defensive and playing counterattacks, like crosses to Dzyuba, he passes to near midfielders and they shoot, and Dzyuba can. What's Dzyuba is like a marksman finisher. He is like a tall forward, classical type of game.
Okay. Right, so just going away from fantasy for a bit, you guys hosted the Russian World Cup, 2018 World Cup. What was it like for you? Because you guys had quite a good World Cup. As a Russian, how was it for you? Did you go and watch any games? What was the feeling like around Russia when the World Cup was happening?
Yes, I believe that the World Cup 2018 is a big luck for us. We were delighted to host this great tournament, and the atmosphere was fantastic. Like many people of other nations are going to other matches and shouting. And speaking about me, I visited 2 matches like England-Sweden in the quarterfinal and also Brazil-Mexico. And so I was very glad my dream came true at that moment, and I guess it is one of the best moments in my football life and in general in my life. So it is an unforgettable emotions for me.
Nice. That's really good to hear.
Something we have in common, because that England-Sweden game was probably one of my favourite moments of like
Yes.
being an England fan. I think that was I can't imagine what it would have been like to have been there, and because the way it was not only the fact we won, it was the how England won in that game, because they were really confident, and it kind of really put some belief into like myself and lots of other England fans in that moment of the tournament, because they were the first sort of team that we'd played that were maybe a sort of slightly higher level, because people complained when we beat Tunisia and we beat Panama, and yeah, that Sweden game. Yeah, watching it on the TV, I'm jealous now that you were there.
So to speak about your fans, they are very great people. They are friendly and they like drinking beer. That's all I wanted to say about them. So the chants are very delightful, and I guess we share our emotions with them. And I was glad to meet with them and to practice my English maybe with them.
Nice. Good stuff. Just one last question from me. Well, 2 last questions for me. In the Russian World Cup, who was your main player and
So
how did they do?
definitely our main player in that tournament was Denis Cheryshev. He scored a lot of goals, like 3 or 4 maybe, and the main striker was Fyodor Smolov, as I said previously. But during the tournament, Artem Ziyech has become a leader, and he made a great opportunity. He made a great contribution for beating the Spain, and Igor Akinfeev, he saved like 2 penalties, and we promote to the quarterfinals, and we lost also in the penalty series against Croatia. It was like tough emotions for all of us because we scored first, like Denis Cheryshev put his screamer into the Subasic goal, and I was in Samara and watched like match England-Sweden at that day, and when I knew about that Denis Cheryshev put a screamer, I just couldn't believe this. I knew that we could promote to the semifinals. Like we have never been in the semifinals in our history, and in our history we even will not be in won't be in the quarterfinals, as you know. So it was a great tournament for us, and I can only be adored by our players.
Nice. Okay, and then last question for you, Zahar. Who do you think is going to win the Euros?
So to be an FPL manager, I would definitely support England team. So I know that they have a good generation of players. They maybe their coach is not so good for them. It's a kind of arguments, but to speak about favorites, I would say that France and Belgium, maybe. But I think that the outsider is Italy. I think they can made a surprise for all of us, and Italy has a strong team right now. But to pick a one winner, I should say that it would be France.
Okay. And Zahar, before we leave, is there anything else that you want to say, or anything that we should know about the Russian team?
To speak about our national team, I would say that we have two formations like 5-4-1 and 4-3-3, but with more powerful teams, I believe that we will play 5-4-1. And as I said before, the main fantasy assets for this team are Dzuba, Golovin, and Fernandes. And in conclusion, I would like to wish all of you, all of subscribers, all of our viewers to support your team and never give up, to have a good tournament, and to be with your team whenever they lose or win. And I would thank you to because you had a great stuff, and you've made a big deal with all of us, 26 countries. It's like a huge result, and I wish you all the best.
Thanks, Zahar. That means a lot.
Thank you.
That means a lot. I appreciate that from both of us.
Yeah.
Thanks for like
and thank you for coming on. You're only 17 years old, and I think that was fantastic for what you did. And amazing stuff. We really both appreciate it. Rob, is there anything else that you want to add before we sign off?
I'm going to assume to know the answer, but just in case there is a doubt, who is the penalty taker? Because everyone wants to know who the penalty takers are. So who's the main penalty taker?
Yes.
Is it Dzuba?
It's a great question. It is Dzuba. Yes, he takes most of the penalties. He is definitely a penalty taker.
Okay. So I mean,
Nice.
we at the moment we don't know, and we probably won't know until like the first round of games how VAR is going to be interpreted, and it'll still be interpreted by different countries that are officiating in the different games. I think so. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know at the last World Cup, we saw lots of penalties. Was it the World Cup? There was lots of penalties because of VAR.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting to see if that gets carried over into the Euros. But yeah, it's almost the most important question of the whole podcast is who's the penalty taker.
Yeah. Right. Thanks for tuning in, Zahar. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. For all you listeners, please like and subscribe, and look out for our next installment of the Euro 2020 series. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.